Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon Gotzen. I'm recording Simon Says for Mtgo and I'm actually somewhat in a hurry today. I was planning to record the first Dragon's Maze Gatecrash Return to Ravnica draft on Saturday, but then I realized that Magic Online was only offering triple Dragon's Maze drafts. So don't worry, you're getting a tri-set draft, but it's Monday now, so I had to shift my schedule a little bit and record this as soon as possible to get it to you on time, which, if you're seeing this right now, probably succeeded, so that's a good thing. Now, Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash were complicated draft formats because of the guild structure, but it wasn't too difficult to apply what we know about one-colored sets to the 5 guilds in each set. And given that 2-color decks were the norm, there basically were just 5 decks to drafts, which is even less than in a regular one-colored limited format. Now, Dragon's Maze changes that completely. First of all, the format slows down a little bit, which is hopefully something we can talk about later on. But most importantly, we are going to be drafting 3-color decks basically from the beginning, and then we're going to have to look which guilds are there for us in the second and in the third pack. Now, one other strategy that we can already consider is going for a 4 or 5-color deck, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say that drafting 2 colors in the full block limited in Return to Ravnica is going to be very, very difficult and only going to be successful in very rare circumstances. Now, all of this is easier if we do some visualization, and I have something very nice to show you for that. Let's see. Here we go, a nice infographic courtesy of Neil Talbot. You can find him as Wrongray Go Back on Twitter, and he was nice enough to allow me to use this graphic to show you some of the complexity inherent in drafting the full block. And that's something which you might have realized already. And if you look at this cheat sheet, as Neil calls it, we have 10 3-color combinations in Dragon's Maze, or just in Magic in general, which is logical if you consider that there are 10 guilds, and every 3-color combination is basically the complement of a guild. And the interesting thing is that the way that Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash are structured means that every 3-color combination has 2 guilds out of one set and then 1 remaining guild out of the other. And there are exactly 5 guilds where you get 2 guilds in Gatecrash and 1 in Ravnica, which is basically the 2-1 split, or if you want to, the 3-2-1 split. And then there is 5 other tri-color combinations where you have only a single guild in Gatecrash, but then you double up on Ravnica. So that would be the 1-2 or 3-1-2 draft chronology, basically. So and what does that mean? Basically, we have to think about every single pick we make in Dragon's Maze that much more carefully, because whatever cards we pick out of any 3 color combination is going to affect which guilds are available to us in the remaining packs. And that not only means which colors, but also which strategies, which synergies to focus on. So if you pick up aggressive cards, but then you are looking at only Dimir cards or Orzhov cards in Gatecrash, your whole strategy might fall apart because you don't get the aggressive support for your deck. On the other hand, if you start off with a defensive deck and then you realize, so let's say you start with a controlling white, blue, red deck, then you suddenly realize that all your Gatecrash cards are going to be from the Boros Guild, or at least the most powerful cards are going to be from the Boros Guild. So this sheet looks looks very complicated, but it's actually not that difficult when you look at a single 3-color combination to do a quick check of which guilds to expect in which pack. And the key thing here is going to be to realize which guild corresponds to which tri-set combination. So you're going to have to remember that Esper, which is white, blue, black, corresponds to drafting Azorius alone. And the same goes for Grixis. Blue, black, red corresponds to drafting Dimir alone. And which of these sets are going to be the ones that you are only getting one guild of in a set is going to be one that dictates most of your strategy. It's going to be very difficult to draft an aggressive deck if you have Dimir as your single Gatecrash guild. And, well, you can basically go through all of these rows here and check that out for yourself. When drafting, it also means that when you get signals from the right that the colors are open, you can be reasonably certain that they are going to flow from the right as well, which could mean that you want a single guild in Return to Ravnica rather than 2 guilds in Return to Ravnica and only a single one in Gatecrash. If you have only a single guild in Gatecrash, you are much more likely to not get enough good cards from the left side, but then get an abundance of riches from the right side in the third pack. And usually you would want to diversify that and mix it a little better. So thanks to Neil again for this great graphic. And that's going to be our starting point in analyzing Dragon's Maze draft. Now, I haven't done a ton of drafts, so for me it's also going to be an exploratory concept basically to figure out. I'm just going to jump right in and see what happens, but hopefully we can learn more and more about the format as the weeks go on. And for now, I'm just going to say that I expect 3-color decks to be the absolute norm of this format, and I expect the 2-1 or 1-2 split to be highly relevant to drafting decisions and how the typical archetypes of these 3-color combinations are going to look like. Okay, there was a lot of stuff to talk about, but I only wanted to give you a glimpse of the complexity that we are about to enter here. Don't forget that Proto Dragon's Maze is also going on this weekend, and it's your chance to see not only Block Constructed, but also some very high-level limited magic. And I'm sure that the Proto results and drafting strategies are going to give us some more great insight into what to do with this colorful mess of a format. Enjoy the draft, and see you next time. Bye-bye.